Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hey, everyone. Might take a minute for the room to load. It's so funny I can look at it on my phone and it's still showing the countdown. Okay, just kidding. It's done. Hello,
Yeah, on mine it
everyone.
ended.
Yeah, it just ended. Hate
Yeah,
that there's a delay,
that
but
is kind of weird.
yeah. I went into Siwa's stream and the outro is playing, but if Siwa is out there, I just wanted to tell her happy birthday. And I apologize that I was not able to hop in there and say happy birthday. So uh, if she catches this or she pops in a chat, I just wanted to say I hope she had a great day.
Yeah, she said
Doing
she was
greater
getting
than
herself
me, for
some
sure.
dinner.
What's that?
Said she was getting herself some dinner, she said, for her birthday.
Oh,
Like,
hey, Martin's mommy.
hey,
It's nice
Martin's
to see
mommy.
you. So tonight we're going to be going over the Black Swan murder trial. And well, actually, the trial starts on Monday. Jury selection starts on Monday. And then the trial precedes that. And it's expected to last 1 or 2 weeks. And it'll be interesting. And I'm debating on whether or not I want to play the trial as it's proceeding. Um, It's a commitment for sure, and
Yeah,
it'll be the
yeah.
first one I played live, so I don't know,
I'm
we'll
really
see.
surprised that that's all the time that they're thinking this trial is going to take, given how long it took to get to this point.
I know, and there's so many filings, so many.
Yeah. And it's like, and they think that the trial is only going to be like a couple of weeks. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and it's taken so many years to even get to this point.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I mean. It's kind of crazy. And then they're just like, oh, yeah, we'll just give you 2 weeks. We'll figure
Right.
it out. I mean, who knows? Maybe it'll go longer. There might be like, a bunch of other motions and stuff that happen.
Yeah, what blows my mind, I just can't understand how a person that is charged with murder can be out on bond, like, that blows my mind,
Right. And
and
it's not even
well,
like it's a question of whether or not she killed him. I mean, she did. It's just,
right.
the question is was it, was it murder or not? But
Yeah,
she definitely, I mean, it's not like it's a question that she shot this man. So
yeah,
it is
yeah,
kind of crazy that she's out on bond.
let me I'll pull up my thumbnail real quick, and I'll just kinda show you who they are.
Have you heard of you haven't heard of the Black Swan case, Martin's mommy? She's like the ballerina from Florida who shot her husband.
Look at you go.
That happened a few years ago. Like, it's
Mhm.
not, I mean, the crime did. The trial, it just took this long to get to trial, but the actual incident happened, I think, like, I'm going to say back in 2020 or something.
Yes. Okay, so on I forget you can't s yeah, you can't see my cursor. So, this is Ashley Benefield, and at the time of the murder, she was 28 years old. And this is Doug. This was her estranged husband at the time. They were in the process of getting a divorce. And he is 30 years older than she is. She's a
Wow.
former ballerina. Um, and she claims it was self defense, but the state is arguing that it's not, it's impossible. Um, and there was a point that I called bullshit as well. But then today, and I don't generally always go off of just what's in the documents, But I started like snooping around Google today on this case, and I came across a website that is like the protesters or someone is obviously very connected to her and the ins and out of this case because they had a lot of um, proof and evidence posted within this website that assuming this is real and I
Against her? Like it's a kind of against her, this website?
against
Or in
him
support of her? Oh, okay. So in
in
support of her.
support of her. Yeah.
Okay.
And so I was like, I don't know. It's kind of got me side eyeing him a little bit,
Right.
but same time, hey, Shyla. No, it's okay. A lot of people like don't get notifications anymore. I know I miss
No,
a
I
ton of them.
never
So
do.
no,
Yeah, I never
yeah.
get notifications anymore. I just give up on them.
So let me end my screenshot there.
So weren't they moving though at the time
She
she
was,
shot him?
yeah. Well, she was getting ready to move over to Maryland, and let
Oh,
me.
okay.
Uh, one thing I didn't pull up was a quick fact sheet. Let me pull that up real quick.
Yeah, because
Hey,
that
Boss
docket's a
Chris.
mile long. Hey, Chris. Hey, Shiloh.
What's that?
Said that docket was a mile long.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Let me find it here. I have literally everything pulled up but the breakdown. Okay, let me just switch this over to my other monitor here and I'll show you guys. This is going to be in Manatee County, Florida. And there were, on this case so far, and even when I updated the docket last night, there's been filings recent
Since
since
last
I even
night.
updated it. And yeah, there's 491 entries on this docket. It's insane.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, and she has a public defender who it seems to me, looking at the entries, he branched off from the public defender's office and started his own firm and made an entry for to continue representing her and would do that with no cost, but requested that the court continue to pay the fee, which public defenders get paid like nothing from the court. It is so minimal.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I believe
he's
it.
continuing to represent her. So sometimes I wonder if they do that for notoriety after they know the case is big, or if they are
Right.
truly
Like the
passionate about
publicity of it. Yeah.
right.
Yeah, it could be.
Okay,
Or he just really, really, believes she's innocent. Although I would think, though, being at the public defender's office, you would have access to more resources, but maybe not.
yeah. I mean, the costs alone, I imagine that all the paper and just everything
Hmm.
that he would have for this, it's no worries, Martin's mommy. I'm glad you stopped by. Enjoy your dinner.
Have a good dinner.
Okay, so let me screen share this.
I mean, it also has been, 4 years
Okay,
of this case.
going
So
off.
it could have been that he just was planning on going private. I mean, 4 years is a long time.
Yeah,
So maybe he just didn't
actually,
want
I'll
to
just
be a public defender anymore in general.
when was this one published? This was published yesterday, so I'll just briefly pick out the pieces on it. Because it's talking about the protesters, and then it said, um hold on, let me pull it up on this screen. And then I'll pull up the first few pages. It says on September 27th, 2020, Manatee County deputies said Ashley Benefield ran to a neighbor's home and said she had been attacked by her husband and shot him. Doug Benefield was found on the floor along with multiple bullet casings. He had been shot twice. Deputies said there was no evidence of a struggle or abuse, and he was facing away from his wife at the time of the shooting. Jury selection starts Monday morning. 500 summons have been sent out. Once seated, the jury will have two sides to sort through. The defense claims that Ashley Benefield was defending herself from an abusive husband, and the prosecution's theory is that she was doing everything in her will to keep their daughter away from him. It
So
says,
this is where the
what
stand
we
your
are
ground
going to,
comes in, right?
yes, yeah. It says, what we're going to see in this case is really two competing theories on what happened on the day he was killed, said Tampa defense attorney Anthony Rickman. Rickman. Rickman read through the case and said the jury will have a lot to sort through. Ultimately, it will be up to the jury to determine whether or not they believe she acted in self defense or whether or not she murdered the victim in this case.
Where was the daughter doing?
So
Because the daughter was young, right?
she was 2 at the time.
Yeah. So where was the daughter when all this happened? Was she there in the house?
Um,
Not that it makes, any particular difference in the case. I'm just wondering, like, did the poor kid witness this?
I don't honestly recall. It's probably
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
in the
And it's just
documents because
curiosity. Yeah, I'm just asking out of curiosity. It doesn't even
she
really.
was getting ready to move, and supposedly he was there to help her pack to move, and he was
Okay.
actually going to be moving, like, to the same state, so that way he could
Oh,
be
so he
closer
was
to his
gonna move
daughter.
too. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like they weren't moving in together, but they were just both moving to be in proximity of the kid.
right. Okay, let me pull this up. Oop, wrong screen. It's loading here. I'm already losing my voice, so okay, this is the arrest warrant, and this one was filed, doesn't have a file date. This is I think they investigated it for 4 months prior to arresting her, and she turned herself in. She I believe she was notified of it through the attorneys from her custody case?
That she'd been indicted.
Yes, and I
Like
could
that's
be
how
a
she
little
found
off
out
on
she'd been indicted. Crazy.
yeah. So I've only
Four
gone through
months is
2
kind of a
hearings.
long time, I would
Yeah.
think, in a case like this, where it's not like they have to find the person who did it, who actually, I mean, I
Mhm.
guess it's the wheels of justice. They don't turn quickly.
Her birthday, 91. She seems so young. 5'9" and 115. She's so skinny.
Well, she was a ballerina.
I'm confused why her address is homeless, to be honest.
It says homeless.
Yeah, can you see the screen?
Yeah, I can. It's just I'm on my laptop, so it's not big.
Let me hide
Oh
these stuff.
yeah, that is weird.
Hide sidebar. Maybe that'll make it bigger. There we go. Okay, let me move my mic over so I can see. And then this says second degree murder, which they ended up um, updating the charge on this to with a deadly weapon. So let's see.
So it's murder, second degree murder with a deadly weapon. That's what they're. I mean, is a deadly weapon kind of redundant? I mean, if you're murdering somebody, it's obviously with a deadly weapon.
Yes, but there's also like strangulation and like asphyxiation.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
And these
Or if you drug them or
wow,
something.
I
Yeah,
only put in
that's
their
true.
file stamp right in the middle. Like, what the hell? Okay. This is when was this one filed? It was filed. They wrote right through it. Okay, it says on September 27th, 2020, um, John Sant contacted 911 and reported that his neighbor, Ashley Benefield, had just run over to his residence and told him that she had been attacked by her husband, Douglas Benefield, and that she had shot him. John Sant confirmed that the shooting took place at Ashley's residence, which is located at blank White Rock Terrace. Um, John Saint also told the dispatcher that the weapon used was currently at his residence. John Saint remained on the phone and in the presence of Ashley until she was directed to go out and meet with deputies. John then directed deputies to the firearm, which was still inside his residence. And we're
So
only going to go over,
she didn't even leave the firearm there. She took it with her.
yeah. And this happened in her bedroom.
Okay.
And it says responding deputies entered blank White Rock Terrace and began to render aid to Douglas Benefield, who was found on the floor of Ashley's bedroom. Oh, I should have just kept reading. Douglas was moved to the living room where the deputies continued to render aid. Douglas had two shotgun wounds visible on his person. Those wounds were located to his right leg, right arm, and right chest area. Douglas was
So he had
eventually
3 shots.
yes.
I thought they said it was only 2.
Yeah, but it said visible.
Oh, okay.
Douglas was eventually transported by EMS to the nearest hospital. Douglas succumbed to his injuries and was pronounced deceased at 29 hours. Where am I at here? I'm trying to look at my little screen.
So
Search
he did not pass immediately.
at
He
the house. No.
survived, it sounds like.
So she didn't even render any aid to him or anything.
Yeah, and he was not immediately.
Let me move my mic a little bit over to where I can see this better on my bigger
Like
screen.
that's a little like, I don't know. I mean, I can't judge what would happen. I mean, I've never been in a situation like that. I don't know. But it just seems like you're gonna sit there and fire a bunch of shots at somebody and then
Hmm.
run out of your house and not even call
Right.
911 yourself or check to see if the person, if the person's suffering, you know? I mean, can you
Mhm.
save them? Can you, I mean, that's kind of, but I don't know. I've never been in a situation even really close to that, so I can't completely judge
Yeah.
somebody's actions because I'm sure she was in shock.
This says Ashley was transported to CID by patrol for an interview. Prior to her arrival, Ashley's legal counsel had already arrived. Ashley and counsel advised that she did not wish to make a statement at this time. Ashley did, however, make a spontaneous statement to me advising that her ears were still ringing. Ashley was shown to the interview room so that she could confer with her counsel. As we walked to the interview room, I did not observe Ashley to have any injuries, nor did I observe any ripped, torn, or stretched out clothing. And it's interesting because when I show you the website, hey, Brooks Nose, good to see you.
Hey.
Oh.
So basically, so the importance of that is to point out that there was no physical signs of fight or struggle.
Yeah, no
Okay.
injuries or no ripped, torn, or stretched out clothing.
Right. Okay.
Any history of DV? There actually is this. They have an open case, which is oddly is still open, um, and she claims DV. People say no, he would never do that, and his adult daughter, she's in her young 20s. They keep calling her a TikTok star, and she's spoken out about it. And when I show you the website, because when you look at
Oh,
the
she's
phone
on
records,
TikTok? The
yeah,
daughter?
yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Um, when I show you the website that has been trying to put out what they say the media is not putting out, so they're putting it out. Um, it shows a different side to him, and this is assuming that what they're putting out is legit. Which
Right.
they have they have pictures of what seem to be um, like personal photos. Like they're
Oh,
very knowledgeable on her. They seem to be either in close connection or something, you know?
somebody know, yeah,
Know a
somebody
lot, yeah.
who's knows something.
Or working with her or her family.
Right.
And then it says whoops, let me grab a drink.
So does his older daughter think that he, you know, was abusive to her or
No, she does not.
okay.
Mm-mm. And the his ex-wife, the
Hmm.
older daughter's mother had passed away prior to that with cancer. And
Okay.
so the daughter was like, "You knew that you were taking, like the only parent that I had left."
Right. Right. Right.
So let me
Well, it
see.
couldn't have been more than a couple of years before this happened because like if I remember correctly, didn't they get married really, really quickly?
Yeah, so
Like
they
after they met?
yeah, so they met. They got together. They announced that they were together. I think it was what was it? 3 weeks after his divorce from his ex-wife or his
Oh,
ex-wife passed,
geez.
and then they were married 2 months later.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
and then shortly after, like, quickly, she was pregnant.
Right. And the kid was two. So, and I mean, was the DV filed when she was pregnant or after? That would
Well,
kind of be
the
interesting to
the
know.
DB was mentioned in the divorce filing. from my understanding.
Okay. So there wasn't like an actual charge or anything like that. It was
It looked
just
like the state was going to press charges on him, and then the state dropped the charges. So I don't know. It's been stated in this court record for this case that the judge found, what did they say? Like, zero evidence of any abuse by him. This court record also has his deposition transcript from their custody case.
okay.
So, yeah. Let's see. A search warrant was obtained for photographs as well as DNA from Ashley's person. I reviewed the photographs and spoke with the crime scene technician. No injuries aside from a minor scratch on her right side were visible. The scratch appeared to be old and very minor. And I will say that there is a picture of the scratch on that website, and we'll see
Okay.
that. Upon further investigation, a witness explained that Ashley had obtained the scratch on her right side the day before the shooting when she was inadvertently scratched when someone walked by her carrying a box. Douglas was found to have been shot twice, and that's what confused. Like they said twice here. One of
Yeah,
the
that's what I'm saying. But then they said there was like three visible wounds, but maybe the two on the top they were just confusing.
Hi Shanna, no worries. I understand, and it's kind of late for a lot of people, so I hope you enjoyed your show. Let's see, where was I? Da, da, da. One of the rounds entered the outside of his right leg and exited the inside of his right leg. I wonder if that's why they give three.
Well, they
The
didn't they
other,
say two though? One was on his arm and one was on his chest. So.
his chest, his arm, and his leg.
Right. So I think the one on his leg they saw as one, but I'm guessing the two. It sounds like they thought they saw two on top.
It's weird that they're like citing different,
Right.
but the other round appeared to have skipped across his right bicep and entered his chest cavity from his right side. No signs of stippling were observed on Douglas or his clothing, indicating that the firearm was several feet away when it was fired.
Right.
Based on
So
the
he wasn't
entry
shot at
wound,
close range.
was that?
So he was not shot at close range.
No. And I think the topic of self defense matters where he was shot because if it was from the front or if it was from behind, you know?
Right. Like if he was coming at her
Mhm. Yeah.
or not.
Or the trajectory of the wound. If they get to
Yeah,
identify.
that's true. They could find out like what where she was, how she was angled versus how he was angled.
Right. Let's see. Where was I at? Based on the entry wounds on Douglas, it does not appear that he was facing Ashley when she began shooting. It also does not appear that Douglas had taken any kind of defensive or combative stance. After being shot, Douglas fell to the ground and it appears that he may have struck his head on the wall on the way down. Douglas did have an abrasion on the back of his head, which was about the same size as a small patch of disturbed drywall on the eastern wall of the bedroom. Douglas was not found to have any weapons on his person or near him. On 10/1/2020, a second search warrant for photographs was executed on Ashley for any delayed injuries that may have not been visible on the night of the shooting. No injuries were observed. Numerous requests have been made through Ashley's legal counsel to set up an interview to discuss what occurred in the room that night. As of this writing, Ashley has not provided a statement or interview. Okay,
Hmm.
this is the last page of that. During this investigation, it was found that since the time Ashley found out that she was pregnant with the child that she and Douglas share, she has made several allegations against Douglas. While looking into the outcomes of the numerous cases, it was found that they had never resulted in criminal charges and were furthermore closed as unfounded. None of the cases involved the allegation of physical domestic violence. Based on these cases and Ashley's actions leading up to the murder of Douglas Benefield, it appears that the main focus on these complaints was to keep the child away from Douglas. In one of the most recent cases, Ashley and Douglas went before the Honorable Judge Moreland for an injunction hearing. During the hearing, Judge Moreland openly advised that she did not find Ashley's story to possess a scintilla of truth. Judge Moreland further ordered Douglas to have access to the child for visitation. At this point, it appears that Ashley had exhausted all legal means of keeping the child away from Douglas before the shooting. So,
How long was that hearing before this happened?
uh, which here?
Like
The one?
before the judge said, basically denied her request or whatever for no visitation.
Oh, I can. Let me look. Let me pull up the.
Like, was that long before this happened, or maybe not so long before?
Let me pull up the. I don't have the. I don't have the custody case pulled up.
Yeah, I'm just curious if it was if it was really soon after. Like, was this maybe a premeditation or something? Not necessarily a premeditation, but like a panic type of a thing where she thought, the only way I can keep this guy away from my kid is if this guy weren't around.
Let's see. How did they word that? Injunction hearing. I definitely won't be able to see. Let's see. How many? Let's see. Oh my God. There's actually been filings as of 2024 in that. Oh God.
Oh, on the custody?
Notice of lack of prosecution and order of dismissal. May
Well,
20.
considering
He's dead.
one of the parties is no longer alive, yeah, I mean, a little bit late to dismiss that.
Let's see. The order regarding emergency motion to suspend father's time sharing was denied May 4th, 2020.
So about 4 or 5 months before this happened.
Hey, Intergalactic. Nope. Nobody's uncomfortable. You're welcome here.
No, you're fine. Yeah,
We're not having any drama.
no, we're just talking the big M word over here.
No drama.
Nope.
Probably why nobody's watching.
That's okay.
I don't mind it.
I'm perfectly fine with that. Like, don't watch as long as you're not in here causing drama.
I
Who
would
cares?
prefer low numbers and no drama.
Me too.
Oh, real quick before I show you that website, I wanted to point this out. You're welcome, Intergalactic. You're welcome here anytime. This really bothered me. Let me show you guys this. I actually had to redact her social security number.
Yeah, that's weird.
Disturbing. This has
That's
been,
pretty bad to leave that public on a public court filing like that.
yes, and this was e-filed on November 5th, 2020. So her social security number has been out there for,
This whole time.
yeah, for like 3.5 years now. When they
Sheesh. And it's
filed
still
the,
there? They still haven't fixed it, or they did?
no, it's still there. I checked before we went live and it's still
Wow.
there. When they filed the arrest warrant, they redacted it. But when they filed, here, let me show you. This is page 24. Okay, sorry, I'm scroll. Hope I don't make anybody's right here. This is the arrest warrant, which they redacted, right?
But in the filing, they didn't.
Well, they filed that
Wow.
it was served. They didn't redact it. I had to do that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I would be so pissed.
She probably doesn't
And
know. Otherwise, you would think she would have been
how
like,
would you?
yo.
I mean, I would hope she knows.
Well, if she's not looking, I mean, that's a lot of
She's out
documents
on
to have to
bond.
look at. Yeah, but I mean, I mean, I guess some people just don't read their documents like that. I would think the attorney would have noticed.
Hey, Virgie, it's good to see you. Well, thank you for watching, Virgie. The
But yeah, I mean, I would be pissed too. Like, that's not cool. You can't
no,
be doing
it
that.
doesn't like. Let's say that she's found innocent, right? And
Yeah,
she's a victim of abuse, and she's free. Like her
yeah,
information is out there now.
yeah,
Everything like this, she alone would give anybody the information they needed.
yeah, yeah. No, that's like really just, that's mind-boggling to me. Just crazy.
I would hope that in the years that have passed since this document was filed, that someone noticed it. I would hope.
Yeah. That's a lot to, a long time to have gone without not a single person
Right.
looking at this and going, oh, hey, by the way,
Mhm. So let me show you the website real quick. Now she is on uh, the electronic ankle monitor with a curfew, and she's been on that since she made bond.
so not quite like a house arrest, but
Right. I think her
yeah.
curfew started at 7 p.m. and then it went to 8 p.m. Um, she lives with her mother now because she was not allowed to have custody of her daughter. Uh,
Oh, she wasn't?
or
Okay.
no, after she was arrested, Child Services took her daughter away.
Yeah.
And
So does the mom have her?
yes,
So she's
yeah,
allowed to live in the same house with her. She just couldn't have custody of her.
she couldn't have custody of her, no. And then her curfew got moved to 11. And I've seen a bunch of like, requests to extend it for certain dates and things like that. But
Right.
hey, Ghostface. me show you that website real quick. And this website has the 911 call, and they put on here that it's the full 911 call. And I'm like, so they're telling me that like the 911 call everybody's heard is not the full call?
Wow.
Like it's
If it's
interesting.
not the full call, then like what the heck was it?
Right.
Like just a very, I mean, you would think if they're going to put the call out, they would put the whole thing out there.
Yeah. So let me share this screen then. Okay, this is the website. It's westandwithashley.com.
Okay.
And then it says what started out as a seemingly picture perfect marriage from the pages of a fairy tale quickly turned into a nightmare. This is the true story of Ashley Benefield. This page is to help spread truth and stop the lies that have been propagated by the victim shaming media. Stand with us as we stand for truth. It is time that we band together to believe victims to put a stop to domestic violence. And then I've seen this picture, but at a different view. When Ashley met Doug, it was a whirlwind romance that swept her off her feet. But in the months that followed, the newlywed couple was hiding a dark secret. Oh, I can already tell I'm going to have to zoom it in. Is it going
They
to
were
let me?
hiding a dark secret, huh?
There we go. Solely the family dog. Things escalated quickly from coercive control and verbal abuse to threats and physical acts, abuse and violence towards Ashley and their pets. And then it says on, let's see, oops, wrong side. Here we go. Who who got me so mad, Ashley? I told her about Wall. I told her about Gun. I told her we argued. Common denominator is you until you have never punched a dog or shot a gun. Look in the mirror yourself. And it says, so you told her then? Question mark. You told
Me too,
her,
intergalactic defender. They are fascinating. Sorry.
huh?
I was just, it's
Oh,
intergalactic defender said that their court documents are fascinating. And I said, yeah, they really are.
yeah. Um, you told her and DSS you punched the dog. I punched the dog because you got me so mad, like you wouldn't stop about Eva. Now Eva is the adult daughter.
Okay. I'm sorry. If you punch a dog, you're out.
Yeah. This is like this whole page of this website has me like questioning
Right.
if there really was domestic violence because the stuff that they provide, I'm like, well, where the hell did they get all this, you know?
Right.
Always Eva. Every argument, Eva. Oh, get out
You
of
know
here,
what this
Beth.
kind of
I'm on.
reminds me of, though? I mean, and it's got, nothing, I mean, nothing to do with it really, but it was kind of the same thing. Like my dad, my stepmother was a lot younger than him. And, they got together for not long after my mom passed. So I didn't have my mom, and my stepmother hated me. Like it was a constant battle between me and my dad and her. So it's like I almost feel like it might have been a similar situation where, maybe she had a jealousy thing with the older daughter if they were always fighting about her. Like, that's sad. Anyway,
They're not that different in age either.
right. This is it. Well, my stepmother was 1 year, about a year and a half older than my oldest sister.
Are you serious?
Hmm.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I mean, you
that's
got to realize my older sister is 13 years older than me. But still, yes, my stepmother was only my stepmother was a year and a half older than her. And so she, there was just a lot of, she had issues with the fact that he had, you know, a whole ass family that had nothing to do with her.
okay. Let's see. And then it says, I punched the dog because you got me so mad. Like you wouldn't stop about Eva, always Eva, every argument Eva. You punched the dog because of Eva. Sounds like you're unstable. Wow. Look in the mirror, Ashley. You admitted to all of that, huh? And then it says Doug's text after he punched Sully. It's been said that he punched the dog so hard he made the dog unconscious. Like, that's terrible.
Yeah, that's really bad.
And then there's Snuffy the cat.
That's
He
terrible.
hit, kicked, and punched the dog and threw the family cat. Doug used his abuse of their pets as a means to hurt and control Ashley. And he says, I just lost it. I found my breaking point. And you took it out on the dog, she says. Fine, you can remind me. Actually, I was stupid. I was angry. I was frustrated. I was lost. I needed help. I got help. And she says, and you threw a 13-year-old cat. He says, how many times do you want me to say I failed? That all shows that a man who has never done that was under too much pressure. That's what happens. You break. I broke. I lost. I lost it. I know it. I got help.
So these are private text messages between him and her.
Yeah.
Like, they look like actual texts. Okay.
And Doug, his daughter, and Ashley. In a new state away from her family and friends, Ashley was isolated and quickly found her whole world unraveling before her eyes. She tried to cling on to hope. Anyways, I'm going to like the little short stories I can get past. His unrelenting jealousy turned into even more extreme, possessive, and controlling behaviors that further isolated Ashley from the outside world. It's
I
weird because
agree.
this,
Galactic Defender. It is. Anybody who can harm an animal like that. Ugh, gross.
yeah. I wonder why their like means of communication switched because that's definitely not text message anymore.
No, that looks like WhatsApp.
Oh, interesting. Hmm.
I think are you crackling, or is that just, am I just hearing things?
It might be me. Is it me?
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Let me see.
I mean, it's not super bad, but I hear it a little bit.
I don't want it
Yeah,
cracking.
I would never, ever. Mm-mm. So you hurt an animal, you're out. That's,
Trying to see. Is it still crackling?
a little bit.
What the hell? Let me see. Here, I'm gonna unplug the power thing on my mic and then replug it in.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna stop sharing this.
Okay.
I'm gonna mute so it doesn't make a noise.
So it's kind of crazy to me that the this happened in the fall of 2020, and they're just going to start jury selection on the trial next week. It's kind of like it's been a really long time. It's really slow. And it sounds like that there's just been so many motions and filings that I'm sure have just kind of, made it take that much longer. But it is
Okay.
interesting that she's not even jailed on. So you would think prosecution is going to ask for entrapment. But galactic thunder, it's not loaded on anybody. It's really just awful to see. I'm pushing on anybody. They could come up with better treatment, more different types of, different situations, because it's so unpredictable, and it works for one person doesn't work for another person. It's the one thing that I'm blessed with is having this a lot of different. The restart. Oh, here. Oh my gosh. Like a fascinating, but I'm also really very being and partially I get still easily to be boring, football granny or grandma or whatever. There's more content that might is had to restart for me because we just had the crackling. So hopefully it doesn't just being distracted and not being entertained. It's going to be so interesting when this trial starts to see where they go with all of this. I mean, I guess he will help. Not. It'll be interesting to see if he changes like I don't know if his strategy. That's what I'm looking. The crackling is why. You seems when you start to like something there seems to the crack. Video issues. Yeah, they're crazy. They have them though. Are you back, right? Are you getting up? Or does your computer on full stop? Okay. She's coming back. Oh, what's going on? Man, I don't. It's still. Oh, you need to read your computer. Okay. I think we want to end this right now just because Ray's having difficulty getting back on and she can talk you. So, yeah. You guys any. So if we'll get this worked out and